The power of Splunk comes from its search query language, SPL. SPL queries power everything in Splunk, from ad hoc investigations and analysis to pre-built dashboards, alerts, correlation searches, and more. But learning SPL does take time, and analysts may spend significant time writing and understanding these queries. For users who lack the time or expertise, their ability to derive value from Splunk may be limited. The AI Assistant for SPL was purpose-built using generative AI to address this challenge and turn everyone into an SPL expert. Let's explore the assistant's skills. Write SPL lets users create search queries using natural language. Let's say our security analyst, new to Splunk, gets an alert about inbound traffic from a restricted region. They suspect an AWS security group change, but they're not sure how to write the SPL query needed to investigate. Instead of spending time on trial and error searches or waiting for others to help, they simply ask the AI assistant, write SPL to determine who made modifications to any AWS security groups. The assistant generates an SPL query immediately. While generative AI results may need review and updates, this initial suggestion saves our analyst significant time over starting from scratch. Now, a common question we get asked is, how is this different from ChatGPT? Well, one key advantage is our optional personalization feature, which, as you can see in these results, incorporates your index, source type, and field names automatically, making the results more accurate and ready to run in your environment. The assistant is also conversational, allowing iterative refinement to your original prompts. Common follow-ups include specifying filters or formatting conditions for dashboards, fixing inaccurate or ambiguous prompts, exploring field names and values for deeper understanding of your data, and getting investigation suggestions on specific incidents. Our analyst now refines the results by asking the assistant to output the results in table format. The assistant updates the SPL with the table command, making the results easier to read and visualize. Using the Open and Search button, we can now run the suggested query to answer our original question: who did make those changes to the AWS security group? Upon reviewing the results, we see authorized security group ingress appears as the AWS CloudTrail event. Our analysts can use the assistant's conversational ability to better understand the meaning and importance of this field value by asking, what is authorized security group ingress? The assistant provides a clear explanation, saving time and offering critical context. This technique applies across many complex data sources like Windows event logs, cloud audit logs, and more, helping analysts investigate faster and with greater confidence. As stated previously, the assistant's conversational, meaning it remembers prior chat context as you refine your query, allowing for a natural back and forth dialogue. However, to start fresh with a new prompt, we click New Chat. Let's assume our security analyst now wants to shift to investigating failed logins. Continuing in the same chat might cause unwanted carryover from the previous queries. So we'll start a new chat and ask the assistant to find failed AD logins. As we start new chats in the assistant, a chat history is maintained on the left side, so you can refer back to previous sessions, making it easy to retrieve and reuse past searches without starting from scratch. Now that the assistant's provided a response, let's talk about feedback, because your input helps us improve our AI quality. Right below the response, you'll see a thumbs up and thumbs down option. If the SPL looks correct and useful, clicking thumbs up signals that the response was helpful. But if something's off, maybe a field name is incorrect or a search isn't quite right, you can click thumbs down and provide feedback on what needs to be improved. Your feedback responses are regularly reviewed by Splunk to improve model quality. Over time, this helps the assistant generate more accurate and relevant SPL in your environment. Let's go ahead and submit our feedback. Now, when users first interact with the assistant, they may not understand what use cases it can help with or how best to prompt it. To address this, we've included a curated library of default prompts grouped by several different categories. Today, we have administrative prompts to help Splunk admins understand how the environment's configured and performing.
data discovery prompts to help users understand what data is being collected in the environment that they can search and analyze, and security prompts to help security analysts understand common security-related investigation prompts. And we'll continue to add more default prompts and more categories over time. Let's try this really useful and popular default data discovery prompt to understand what data is being collected in the environment. The assistant returns SPL that we can run immediately. And after clicking Opening and Search, we can see a detailed list of the data being collected in the environment separated out by index and source type. This is really helpful information for users to understand what type of data they have access to search and investigate. Explain SPL provides a natural language breakdown of existing SPL queries, making it easier to understand searches that have been authored by others. Our security analyst is still getting familiar with the team's custom security dashboard. After reviewing a panel, they're not sure what the underlying search is doing. Normally, they'd have to manually review it line by line, referencing Splunk documentation along the way, or ask help from the local Splunk expert. But with the AI assistant, they can simply ask what the query is doing and get a clear, natural language explanation. As you can see, the assistant begins to provide a detailed, line-by-line breakdown of the query. But I'd like to call attention to the very end of the explanation, where the assistant provides a concise summary of what the SPL does and the author's intent. The summary states the query is looking for a high frequency of communication, and that is in fact a correct assessment of this SPL because it was originally designed to find indications of command and control traffic. And finally, Splunk AI Assistant's Tell Me About skill allows our budding Splunker to ask questions to learn more about Splunk's capabilities. For instance, let's assume that they've learned about the concept of lookups, but they're not sure how they might be applied in a security context. Let's ask the assistant about lookups and how a security analyst might use them. And just like that, we can see the analyst has gotten a quick summary of the lookup command, including specific examples on how they might be used in a security context. How would you choose to use the AI assistant to accelerate your Splunk adoption?